In this video, we're going to be going over the dashboard. Now, your dashboard may look a little bit different. It might not have any of this stuff, so we're just going to ignore that for now. But we're on today, which is March 1st. But I want to show you just kind of last week is what we're going to look at. So you can click on a specific day if you want, and it'll highlight a time range. You can just click on the same day and apply it. Or if you want to do a time range, you can do that. Or you do have some preset time ranges right here. So if I wanted to look at, let's see here, we'll do last 7 days. So it'll reload it, and you can see here, got the call booking rate, 79% for the last 7 days. And this is going to be the technician scorecard. And this is going to be the call metrics. This is going to be what's most important. I'm not sure if you'll have the rest of the information on your dashboard, but you should have this. So you can see the booking rate, you can see the total leads, and the total calls that were booked. Scroll down a little bit more, and you'll see the agent scorecards. So this is going to show you every CSR. So we have me, we have Jill's office, which is our call center, and then we have abandoned. Now, abandoned is going to be any calls where a customer called in and hung up before anybody could answer it. They just go straight there. Or all of the Jill's office calls automatically go to abandoned as well, and they have to be manually reclassified to go under Jill's office. So we do have 19 calls and abandoned and 4 leads. That is because it's the weekend, so we're not clearing those out yet. We'll get those cleared out on Monday, but you don't want to have any abandoned calls, preferably, but especially you don't want any leads sitting in there. And then for Jill's office, we can see that they took 30 calls, 9 of them were leads, and 5 of them were booked. So for Jill's office, we do have a 55% booking rate. And then the ones that they're booked, Jill's office doesn't actually book the calls. They take the messages, and then we'll call the customers back, and we go in and mark that it was their call and the call has been booked. And then for me, you can see I have 215 calls and 82 leads and 70 booked, so we have an 85% booking rate. So I'll show you how we're going to reclassify the calls, and we'll just go to Jill's office to show you a little bit. So if you click on whichever agent, it'll pull up their scorecard. So this is Jill's office, and you can see the booking rate and the total calls. If you want to kind of filter it, you can click just the leads. It'll pull up those 9 leads, or just the calls that were booked, or just the calls that were unbooked. And excused calls is everything that wasn't a lead, pretty much. So you can see this one says caller hung up immediately. Excused, so we just went ahead and excused that since it wasn't a lead. We'll go back to view all of them, and you can see all of those right here as well. So these are excused, booked, and unbooked. And if you click this right here, it'll take you to the job page that is related to the call. And you'll see the customer name, or if there isn't an account for them, you'll just see their phone number. And here is where it says the marketing campaign. So if we went over to where we were booking jobs, this marketing campaign right here, that's where that information comes from. So you can see they called from, let's see here, the Good Contractors list. They called from Chirp, which is one of our messaging centers. They called from our main number. Organic Wizards of Ads is, I believe, our website phone number. Or LSA, which is our Google number. It really doesn't matter too much. You won't have to do anything with those other than just putting them in here, but when you get the incoming call, it'll automatically fill it out for you. So it's not too important. It'll usually automatically do it. And then you can see how long the call was and the details of the call. So if we wanted to reclassify a call, we'll go ahead and do this unbooked call right here. What we would do is click on it, and it'll pull up the call recording. This call recording, I'll play it. It's going to be really loud, I think, but it'll just basically ring all the way to the end. Oh, it did not ring all the way to the end. We'll go back a little bit. So you can hear, you can't really understand that, and then it looks like they just hung up. So sometimes the call recording doesn't catch everything when it goes to Jill's office, so I think there's a lot more to this call. I'll see what I put as the notes. You can see that I determined it was a service request that Jill's office did not book, so that we didn't book. I'll click on the I'd like to reclassify this call. Alright, and then my notes right here say that I left a voicemail and sent a text. And it says that they did not answer the return call. So they might not have really gotten through to Jill's office. I don't quite remember this call, but I did reach back out to them and they did not respond. So that's why this is marked as an unbooked lead. So we have a few different things that you can classify it as. We've got this was not a service request, excuse it. So I use this, if we click on this, you can see who took the call. We've got Jill's office, me, the dispatcher Ben, we have Jacob, but really it'll just be me, Jill's office, or any other CSRs. So we'll leave it at Jill's office. And then you can select the call reason. Since we have it as this was not a service request, which means it wasn't a lead, there are going to be different reasons for if it was a lead. So this is what the reasons look like. So we have all these different ones. If one of the technicians calls in, we can click that, and that was not a service request. And we would change the notes on that, obviously, and then click update. Lots of different reasons here. A lot of spam calls come in, mark that as spam. But if this was a service request that was not booked, we're going to have some different reasons. So I had this one marked as didn't answer return call, because I did call them back. But it could be they didn't want to pay the diagnostic fee, or they had other cost concerns, or they already found somebody else. And we'll go ahead and just mark that back where it was. This didn't answer return call. Or you could say this job or this call was related to an existing job, and then you could search for it. Type in no account, and that one will come up. We would click on it and then click update, and that's how you would tie it into that job. Or a job was booked for this call. So let's say they got Jill's office and I called them back. There's not going to be another incoming call that I booked the job from. So we would want to say a job was booked for this call. So same thing, you would search it and click it, and you could tie it to that, and then it would change to a booked call instead of an unbooked one. But we'll go back to a missed lead, didn't answer return call, let them a voicemail, and click update. But you can always change it. And sometimes we do need to, like if it's an abandoned call, we'll change it to Jill's office. But that is mainly what you're going to use the scorecards for. If we go back to the dashboard, go to abandoned, and all of these don't have any CSR attached to them. You can see the customers' names, And we'll just have to go in there and reclassify all of these on Monday. And some of them may not get reclassified. We do, like this one, they were only on there 8 seconds. We do have an automatic message that gets sent out that says, you know, oh, I'm sorry we were on the phone when you called. If you're still looking for help, send us a message. So something like that where they were only on there for 8 seconds and they got our automatic message. It's not that big of a deal. We don't call this person back. Most likely they called in again, like right down here. Oh, that's a different number. Sometimes they'll either call in again or they might have responded to our text and we haven't seen it yet. So it really just depends. Something that is 8 seconds isn't that big of a deal. Anything over a minute is going to be a lead. So this one we have a minute 24. There's a call recording attached to it. These are probably all sitting in the email from Jill's office. And we'll go ahead and go back to the dashboard so you can see the whole table again. And you can also scroll down and kind of see. I don't know if that will be on there. And here's a map just showing where the revenue is at. I'm not sure if you'll have that on there either, but it's not really that important. I don't use that for anything. I really just use the call metrics the most to reclassify calls and see all of our missed calls as well. But that is going to be what you use the call metrics for.